So today on the New Leaf podcast, I'm joined by two of my colleagues here. I've got Sam Wallis. Hello.
Hi, Dan.
Got Brad Kenworthy as well. How you doing?
All good. Thanks for having me, Dan.
Sam, MD of New Leaf, and Brad, our compliance director. Great to have you with us. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about how we do business with people generally, and just look at a few topics, and then maybe get your opinion and sort of have a chat about those different themes. Obviously, we're known as the network that knows your name. I guess is a good place to start. What does that personally mean to you? So, Sam, you get us started on that. What do you think that means?
Yeah, for me, that is just the normal way to do things. So, New Leaf was my first kind of proper job, if you can say that. No disrespect to my auntie working in a cafe before that. But it's always been how I would deal with people. I think it's important.
What a great year you've had, by the way.
Yeah.
Could you? Cafe to the MD.
It's been amazing. It's been with these last 9 months, honestly. It's been amazing. I just think it's the way that I would want to be dealt with. I don't see any of our members as numbers. They're all individual people. They've got their own way of working. And at the end of the day, I think that's what a network is for. And that's the reason they exist.
Yeah.
If we had a direct sales force or we had our own advisors, maybe it would be different. Maybe we wouldn't worry so much. They're interchangeable. One leaves, the new one starts, picks up the clients. But, just the people that we've spoken to previously on this podcast, they're also individual. They've got different stories to tell.
So many different voices. And I completely agree with you that, a network needs to be accountable. That makes sense. We're serving the people, and actually, if we do something wrong as a network, it shouldn't then prevent someone from choosing a different service provider almost. If your accountant was annoying you, you just get another accountant, wouldn't you? But I feel like maybe some networks, they lock their people down so much that it gets quite toxic. I think, Brad, we don't have culture maybe is a bit different to that.
100%. Yeah, we seem to see it with the experienced advisors coming over, where almost the compliance word is like the fearful, well, no, compliance, get in touch, something's gone wrong. And we try to make it clear to them that we are working with them, we're collaborating with them, and we kind of want to help coach them. We want to help coach them with cases rather than just pick out that's missing from the file. You should have done this better. We want to make them better, because the better they do, the more we grow as well.
Yeah, I think we don't really hold them back from a compliance angle as well. It's a good point. But obviously, being that sort of familiar network in a way where we get so close to the advisors, it can be hard to differentiate yourself from a compliance officer to someone who's their friend as well. And it's that fine balance you have to get right, don't you, to still be fair, but also have that compromise to make sure their business flourishes.
100%. Yeah, it's always a fun challenge that I have. But we will help the advisors as much as we can. But don't get me wrong, on the compliance side, you do have to be firm at times.
so we will. Yeah,
At the end of the day, Brad, our goals are aligned, aren't they?
Yeah.
If the advisors do well, if the ARs do well, if the new recruits, the new people that are on the journey, if they do well, then ultimately that lifts us as well. So I think that's makes it a little bit easier. When it does come time to tell people what to do, we know we're in it together.
Yeah, definitely.
We're not gearing up for a sale. We're not piling people high to get a better EBITDA or whatever we need to do. We're just in it for the long haul.
I mean, the goals of business very much have been to build the value in the sense of working with people, building valuable friendships, building an amazing community as part of that network philosophy. But also to work towards tangible targets. So, for example, we want to get to we're at that 1 billion under management. That was a target started 10 years ago. And then it's also things like, making sure we're hitting our charitable targets as well, of 10% of profit going to charity every year. I think it's so important that we don't lose sight and lose focus of what actually is important to us being in business, right?
Yeah. Mark always taught me, do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And there are times when you can compromise on your principles or your morals or ethics for the pursuit of pound coins. But you shouldn't let that get in the way of what we're trying to achieve.
And making a real difference to people's lives, literally, the things we do for charity as well. But you mentioned Mark, and let's talk about Mark here. I mean, Mark is the founder, chairman. dad to me, obviously.
Uncle to me.
Brad, your uncle. It is a fact. Our business was founded on family, and it's great to have you in the business. Obviously, I'm in the business. Then we have Sam.
Yeah, I had to get early on. I actually brought my cousin in to New Leaf, Josh, Ted. Got a couple of nicknames, just to weigh the balance a little bit more in my favour, because we're surrounded by Hobbs.
But joking aside, I mean, we've got what the point I'm trying to make is we have a very sort of young executive team now. So you think like, obviously we're the same age, 36, we're at school together. Mm-hmm. Brad, you're 32 now, I think.
Nearly 32, yeah.
Youngest compliance director in the UK.
That's not been fact checked, but
Yeah.
I don't know why
I think
anyone.
Mark said it publicly a number of times.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And obviously now I'm CEO, you're the MD, Sam. I think the point I'm trying to make is the future of this business is very much long term, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And it has to be, because the decisions you make now, they're not 6 months decisions. If somebody's looking to join a network, build their AR business, thrive and grow, that's got to be a long-term plan. It's got to be a minimum of 5 years. And you need to know that the place you're joining, the people you're going into business with, are there for the long term.
Yeah, and I see a lot of, I don't want to comment or say bad of industry, but I see a lot of firms that maybe are growing for the wrong reasons, and they're not potentially doing it because of long-term strategy. It's more because they want to make a sale, right?
Yeah.
And we've already seen that in the past. People do that all the time. Obviously, our business is very much not for sale. We want to keep building. We want to keep growing our partnerships, doing it for that long-term view. So when a partner comes to us, they know they're not a commodity.
Yeah. I think the beauty of it as well, we're talking about, being a young executive team, but between the three of us, we've got nearly 4 decades of experience in the room. So we've all, the loyalty of, we've got a great loyalty of members as well. So when I started at New Leaf, I was literally in the commissions team, and I've got ARs still working with us now that were here when I started that journey, and I'm now dealing with on the compliance side rather than them chasing me to pay them, which is a bit different. But no, I think it just shows that we are in it for the long haul, and to have the advisors and watch them grow alongside us has been brilliant.
I like to just move the chat to things that we're known for, just to remind people out there the things we do. I don't think we talk about this enough. Maybe people have perceptions of what we do, but I just wanted to make that clear really on the podcast today. Obviously, one of the main things we're known for is bringing in new talent, acquiring new advisors who are hungry, entrepreneurial, and want to start in this business. How have you found it, you guys personally? What has been a successful sort of strategy for advisors who are looking to make that jump to start from scratch and get involved with us or whoever? But what works?
Okay, good question. Yeah, so I think if we were to look at the most successful businesses that have started with New Leaf, maybe they've started out in will writing, maybe protection, maybe mortgage broking, and ultimately for most of the people that we speak to, the goal is to become an IFA. Mm-hmm. If you look at those people, the ones that have made it, they've put in a real commitment to learning, a real commitment to upskilling themselves, continuous professional development, not just seeing it as a chore, attended events, networked. And I think the community that we've made at New Leaf really encourages that.
Yeah, leaning into the support we offer. And you mentioned like the workshops, CPD. I think last year we put on over 250 different CPD events online and in person. And that's a real commitment in its own right, beyond all the compliance stuff and the other things we support them with. And that gives those, especially the new advisors, you're not on your own. You're part of a team that's there. You're there to lean on. We're here to help you, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it's with new people coming in as well. I think they have to be 100% committed. They need to be. 100%. You can't. It's not a part-time thing. You can't expect clients just to land on your doorstep. And obviously use the tools available to you. You be present online, LinkedIn. I think Dan, you said it to me before. I don't know who you got it from, but it was a good point. It is your window shop now, isn't it? Essentially, it's not many. Obviously, people do still have their offices, but in terms of LinkedIn, that is a place to make it clear that everything about you.
Yeah, like social media is like the modern day shop window, exactly. And people will need to look at your shop and look at your services. And the old way of having a high street presence or having a place in your town is unavailable to some advisors. We know it's, people haven't got much money when they start out, so you can't just go and buy a shop or buy a high street presence. So you can use social media to your advantage. And I mean, harking back to the compliance side with us, I think we're quite social media friendly.
Yeah.
Not in a way that compromises regulation, but certainly in a way that helps people get going, get their name out there quite quickly, and leverages those different platforms like your LinkedIn's, like your TikToks, like your Facebooks. And we do put on training as well, how to do that effectively as well. But I go back to your earlier point about commitment, and I think about the podcast we did with Kelsey and how on day one she went out and saw 54 estate agents in her area, and it wasn't over a course of a week or 2 months or a year; it was in one day, and she got one yes from that. That was a long day, and the last one said yes. It just shows though the sort of level you've got to go, and some people will never be like her, but they'll go into it in different sort of enthusiasm. But with her ethic, that's a sort of entrepreneur you have to be to start a business in this from scratch. So it's not for everyone.
No.
But I do think we are a good place to help and support people.
And that's it. It's the mindset, isn't it? Someone else would have looked at it and saw 53 no's, but she saw one yes. And that's the beauty of it. Focus on the positives. It's easy to blame what's going wrong rather than find the solutions.
Exactly right.
Yeah, we've always said that the most important thing is the entrepreneurial spirit and the business owner mentality. And you're a business owner that just happens to be in financial services. And that's a line borrowed from Mark.
Yeah.
Copied from Mark. But it really rings true. If you just focus on being a broker or an advisor, it's very, very difficult to scale up. You need to think of this as a real business.
Yeah.
With, ins and outs and cash flow.
Yeah, it's not a side hustle. It's not something you're just doing in evenings. You can't really do this alongside another job.
No.
It just won't work. And clients don't want that. I mean, clients will call you at any time, right?
Yeah.
And if they find out you've got another job, your reputation is ruined. It's not possible to do it. Other things that we're known for, guys, I mean, the whole investment piece. Obviously, we are here to build wealth partnerships with firms. So those who want to become IFAs. And something I think that we have been quite good at is because we were a mortgage network first, we've been quite good at transitioning mortgage brokers into the IFA space. What are your messages for mortgage brokers out there who might be thinking about that jump?
I would say go for it. There's been far more success stories than failures. I can count the failures on one hand. And really that's because those people, they didn't actually want it. They thought it was maybe what they wanted to do, but it wasn't really there. They continually get dragged back into the mortgage world, into what they were doing before. For the people that embrace it, and again, that word commit, give commitment to what they're doing, increase their knowledge, they fly. They absolutely fly. There's an awful lot of people in the UK that need financial advice. The marketplace is huge, and there's more than enough room for exciting firms to spring up and capture some of that opportunity.
Yeah, I think it's less than 10% of the people in the UK actually
9%, yeah.
It's 9%. There
9%.
you go. There you go.
I mean,
Pretty
the other
close.
thing is, remember, a lot of mortgage advisors are quite transactional in nature because of the nature of the product itself. And a key benefit of being an IFA is that you're not reliant on transactional value.
Yeah.
You actually can build different type of value, a value that not only gives you an ongoing income, but also gives you something you can sell, a tangible sale at the end of it if you want to exit. People will buy that value. So I think that's something that's really important for someone thinking about being an IFA. It's great for being holistic, for consumer duty and for all those things that come into play, but actually it's about building real value in your business as well. It's something you can't do on the same level as just a mortgage brokerage.
Yeah. In our experience, that's where the value in a business comes from, is that recurring trade, that recurring revenue from ongoing clients, and hopefully, if you do a good job, those clients can be with you for a very long time. Also, as well as the side of it that it's good for your business to transition into the IFA world. Also, mortgage brokers on the whole are in a very good position to do that.
Yeah.
To come from maybe a sideways industry or profession or a completely unrelated profession and become an IFA is extremely difficult. If you're a successful mortgage broker and you have clients, you're working in a regulated industry, you're used to doing things like fact finding, used to putting business through with providers, there's not too many more steps to actually get into the IFA world.
You've got a really good source of data as well, which is really important. And I think going to like a compliance point on this as well, Brad, and this is for New Leaf in particular, we can support a new person coming into this who maybe hasn't got that idea on the admin side because it's a different world for them going from mortgages to IFA. So, what do we do to assist a new IFA with the admin?
So on the admin side, obviously every case is paraplanned at New Leaf. We have from start to finish, essentially, we have a triage team. We have an LOA desk. They have a personal coach with Kerry as well, Kerry Weaver. So he deals with all the people from the start of their journey all the way through to reaching CAS. And, even the most experienced advisors come over, they work with Kerry and they really do appreciate the guidance, the help as well to our process as well. So, yeah, we do a lot. We help them, and we've seen multiple people, achieve CAS status in quite a
I think it's quite unique,
period.
Isn't it, Brad?
Yeah.
And Sam, like the way that we take that admin burden away from an advisor just really releases and unlocks their potential in the investment space.
Yeah, definitely. I think it also comes back to our longevity, is that we don't really need such a quick turnaround, a quick return on investment from taking on new people.
Yeah.
If we were gearing for sale or the financial constraints were different, we'd have to get people up to CAS as quickly as possible. No messing around. Whereas, people are individual. Maybe they're finding it a little bit tougher and they need more help, and we can survive and we can provide that. Or maybe they fly from day one. Yeah.
But as well as that, we've got the ongoing training as well. We host at least 2 webinars a week specifically for the IFAs. We've got the structured CPD on the Thursday, and on the Tuesday, we've got Sam over here doing his IFA fundamentals as well.
Yeah, I need a new microphone for that, actually. This is nice.
Well, I mean, and workshops and things and mentoring, it's really good, isn't it, for the new person with us? I just want to finish on, we're talking today about technology and maybe the risk of it as well. So, and what the opportunities might be. So we've been talking a lot about AI, industry F1, and everyone seems to be using it now in some form anyway.
Writes a good poem.
He writes a good poem. That does as well. Helps write some good podcast questions, I tell you, for the episodes. But with regard to this AI or tech generally, is it going to be a threat or an opportunity?
Good question. I would say an opportunity. I think there are some people out there that should feel threatened, the ones that don't adapt, the ones that don't change, don't move with the times. I can definitely see those kind of people being stuck and not progressing and probably turning to sell their businesses, I would imagine. But I think for people that can get their head around it, a massive opportunity. I think it's worth looking a little bit further ahead, maybe, to if you plant the assumption in your mind that within a few years, pretty much everyone in financial services will be harnessing AI to a really strong degree, it becomes a basic thing again. Right now, there's people that are 3 months ahead, 6 months ahead, maybe a year ahead in their implementation. If you fast forward a little bit, you've got to prepare for a world or a landscape where everybody has it and it's doing all the jobs that we think you can do. The first question is, what is the use case in your business? That's the important thing. Because a lot of people say, I'm going to get AI or I'm using AI. What problem is it solving?
Yeah.
So don't just, go in blind. Like, you need to think, why do I need this first and how is it going to help me?
Exactly. Yeah. I had a really good chat with one of our ARs, lovely guy called Di Rose over in Wales. Online the other week, we were both kind of comparing notes on what we've been doing so far. And I was sharing with him that, every week there's something new that comes out, something shiny, different system. And also the companies are kind of, fighting for market share, aren't they? So they're releasing new things weekly. And he just reminded me actually just to focus on that point. What is the problem you're trying to solve. Is it something as simple as meeting notes, which if you rewind 5 years would have been just inconceivable that, you know, a lovely letter to a client would have been written straight after. Now that's basic.
Yeah.
So if you start to think ahead and think, well, what will be basic in the future? Our challenge is, can we quickly and efficiently get everything wired in, which I'm absolutely sure we will. And then from there, how do you differentiate yourself?
It's funny enough, I can't remember the days now of taking notes myself in meetings.
I was gone.
And then the summary you get back is better than anything you could have written as well.
A couple of tweaks to the message you have to do. But yeah, I think, the most important thing is doing your due diligence on these firms. Like Sam said, there is literally a new one every week. And it is, how will that affect your business? You know, Sam actually done a brilliant task the other week with just our office staff. And he basically said, what admin tasks are you currently doing, which are taking up a lot of your time? And a simple task that was taking an advisor 2.5 hours to do, sorry, not an advisor, an admin to do, took 2.5 hours out of her Monday. It's now done in 5 minutes. Just from sitting there,
that's actually 5
explaining
seconds.
The scenario.
5 seconds.
For you, maybe, but for the staff member.
5 seconds.
No, so it sounds like a hopeful message then. I mean, advising itself, is it going to be something that you see AI doing direct with consumers? So will providers have that access, make that easier? This is across the board generally.
I think that's definitely a point to consider. When you use the letters or the word AI, everyone gets a bit excited, don't they? But there's been automated systems for advice. There's been robo advisors that just work in a slightly different way.
Yeah.
And I think those same challenges that they've had previously would persist.
Same challenges that humans have, which is actually client acquisition.
Yeah. So
it's quite expensive to onboard them through a digital process direct.
Yeah, I mean, what will happen is that will get lower cost, that will get cheaper, that will get easier. So I think what that effectively does is opens up the marketplace to more entrants. So more companies will come in and focus on that. I think it also widens the base of people that can get advice. I don't see it overlapping too much with the typical IFA clients.
Yeah.
If you think of someone like David, who I spoke to earlier, 30 years of building a friendship with clients, they can rely on him, they can trust him, and they know him very well. They're not going to log on to something tomorrow and say, "See you, David."
I think that comes across to, that point of diversifying your business into multiple permission areas, so that when you're doing that service for the client, you've got plenty of opportunities to go see them, because you've got a lot more to talk to them about, rather than just one permission area you might be selling in.
And something that we obviously offer advisors, of course, is we have all the permission areas. Look, guys, I've been asking everyone on the podcast and all our guests, what's the going back to the tagline of the podcast, which is turning a new leaf in financial advice. For you, what would be the one new leaf that you're turning over that's making a difference, or will make a difference to our business going forward?
Okay, wasn't expecting that one.
Got to test you somewhere.
I've got to say, maybe this is a cheap one to take, but doing things like this traditionally is out of my comfort zone. But what I am trying to do to get the business name out there more widely, and to make sure that I'm approachable for people if they want to join or want to speak to me about New Leaf, is working on things like LinkedIn and also things like this podcast, just to make sure that, I do think we say make sense in the things that we say, and when I speak to people one-to-one, often we get on well and it works. So I'd like to speak to more people and make myself more available. Brilliant. So that's the new leaf I'm turning over.
Brilliant. And yourself, Brad?
New leaf. Oh, it's a tough one. Thanks, Dan. Well, no, things like, embracing AI, like we were talking about, we've got a lot of things that we're looking to see what can assist us on the compliance side as well.
Okay.
To make sure that we get, similar things to make sure that we're giving the best service to our advisors when they come across. If there's anything that we can do to speed up their process but still be as compliant, then fantastic.
And for me, it's being a bit more old school. Is making sure I'm meeting with every firm, which I'm doing, all our partners, and really getting to the crux of what the pain points are, where we can make a difference, where we can further add value. I'm learning so much from those conversations. So that's my new leaf turn this year, for me as well.
Amazing.
Guys, look, fantastic having you on. Thanks for joining me today on the New Leaf podcast, and look forward to seeing you in the office tomorrow.
Cheers, Dan.
Cheers, Dan.
Thanks a lot.